About 3 years ago, the YouTuber Poketips made a video asking if you could beat Pokemon Sword and Shield with only a Snom. Snom has a base stat total of 185, which makes it the third weakest Pokemon in the entire franchise. But I think simply because of move count, Snom is the weakest Pokemon of all time. Second place Sunkern learns 13 moves naturally, while first place Wishiwashi learns 14 moves. Well, Snom, it learns 2 moves. I bet you didn't know that was possible. And even if you take TM, TRs, Egg moves, Move Tutor, all that stuff, Snom has about a fourth of Wishiwashi's available moves. So I think I'm right when I say that Snom is the weakest Pokemon of all time. You could imagine that Poketips did not have a very good time trying to beat Sword and Shield with only this Snom. In fact, as far as we can tell, it's simply not possible to do it. But now the next generation of Pokemon is out, and Snom got a spot in the roster. So as you guessed, today we're gonna try and beat Pokemon Scarlet Violet with only Snom. Hold on, let me do the intro. As far as I can tell, I haven't seen anybody else try this challenge out yet, so I don't really have a rule set to base off of. In traditional Pokemon games, usually you would fight the 8 gyms, then the Elite Four, then the champion, and then you're kinda done. But this game has 3 branching story missions, with a total of 18 story battles. While the difficulty of each fight remains the same no matter what, you can really challenge these in any order you'd like. So I'll be using an overleveling rule set similar to the one that I used in Sword and Shield, where Snom can get to a max level cap of 20, and I'll be able to level up 5 more times for every one of these main missions I complete. With this rule set, by the time I only have 2 of these badges left, Snom will be able to get to level 100. In terms of other rules, like Poketips, I'm allowing myself to do basically everything. So I'll be permitting myself to use held items, consumable items, terror rating, nature changing mints, EV training, X items only if needed, and changing my terror type at the treasure eater eat medallic. This series will be 3 parts long, with the first 2 parts covering getting each of the 18 main mission badges, and part 3 covering all of the endgame stuff like the final battles of each of the story missions, as well as the endgame section with AI Toro. So again, thank you for checking out this series, and this intro's gotten to like 2.5 minutes long, I'm sorry. Let's get with the run. I have to go through most of the intro sequence of my starter, as trading doesn't unlock until after that. Until then, I have to go through the hour-long sequence of being introduced to the story missions until I can trade myself a Snom egg from a separate save file to avoid the disobedience thing. Then we can get our beautiful level 1 Snom, and its moveset is just as amazing as it looks. It sucks actually, it's really bad. As you'd expect, I literally have to switch train it with my starter until it can take out literally anything. After training Snom to about level 10, I box everybody but Snom out of my party and start heading for the first gym, which is, of course, the notoriously weak Bug-type gym. Before each gym leader battle, you have to take on a gym challenge, as they call it, which consists of some strange activity, usually with a few trainer battles sprinkled in. Early gym challenges like this one usually don't have any battling at all, it's just some whatever this is. Clearly, I'm a professional Pokemon player, based on the amount of skill and intellect I showed in this Olive Roll challenge. NASA, if you need people to hire, I'm right here. Katie has a relatively strong team against the level 20 Snom at least, with 3 Pokemon. I walked into Katie's gym leader fight with the level 10 Snom with its regular moveset, and that ended horribly, so I need to do some more preparation. Snom actually learns the holy grail of special bug-type moves, Bug Buzz, with 90 power, but it only learns this via TM. Normally you can only get this TM through getting far enough in some of the main story missions, but there actually is one place in Southwest Paldea where you can pick up the TM without having to make any progress at all. Specifically, this ledge spawns a Bug Buzz TM, and while you would need Fly or Climb or one of Miraidon's abilities to be able to get up there, we can simply abuse the game's bad physics engine and get up there to grab the TM. And this is definitely the best move that Snom could have this early game, but we do have one more TM to seek out, that being Icy Wind, which is just a little bit better version of Powder Snow, having 15 more power and having a guaranteed speed drop. Once again, there is one specific place in Paldea where you can find the TM without having to progress at all in the story. After all that preparation, you'd think Katie would be a super easy gym, but I still lost to her. So here's what happened. I immediately terrestrialize Snom and go for Bug Buzz, in which her first Pokemon, Nimble, will get a little bit of chip damage off before it goes down to the Bug Buzz. Her second Pokemon, Tarantula, is slower than Snom, so it just meets the same fate immediately. Her ace, Teddiursa, though, is a pretty big problem. It terrestrializes into Bug type and has the move Fury Cutter, which gives it Terra Stab. When the attack came, it did a surprising amount of damage, and Nom was going to go down next turn. I was hoping that Nom's Bug Buzz would just take out the Teddiursa in one hit anyway, but it didn't. The Teddiursa used Fury Cutter again on the next turn, which did just enough damage to take out Snom. Turns out the way to win this fight was just to get lucky, because Teddiursa's move Fury Cutter actually has a 5% chance of missing. So of course, on the next attempt, the Teddiursa goes for Fury Cutter and completely whiffs, which hands me the game, because Snom gets to get a Bug Buzz off for free, and then have enough health to take it out on the next turn. With this, we've just beat our first main mission with only Snom. And with every main mission we complete, we can level up 5 more times, so now Snom can get up to level 25. The next mission to go for next is the Grass type gym, as Snom counters Grass with both Bug and Ice. The gym challenge consisted of nothing except obliterating a random Sunflora with Bug Buzz, but despite all of our type advantages, Brassius actually seems like he'd be a really tough gym leader. Not just because I'm pretty sure he broke his legs in this scene, but because his last Pokemon, Sudowoodo, has Rock Throw, which is one of Snom's 4 times weaknesses. But I was pretty confident that Snom would be able to survive at least one Rock Throw and be able to take out the Sudowoodo. He could not. So I leveled up Nom straight to level 25 and tried again. With the extra few levels, Nom is actually faster than the Sudowoodo and gets the first move. And while it would have been a one-hit KO, Sudowoodo has this sturdy ability, which means it cannot be knocked out in only one hit. So Sudowoodo fights back, and Nom still cannot take a Rock Throw to the face. But remember when I was talking about getting that Icy Wind move that had a 100% chance of lowering speed? Since Nom is naturally faster already, it doesn't seem like lowering speed would do anything, but here's where a big brain strategy comes into play. The Sudowoodo has another move called Trailblaze that it has a small chance of using instead of Rock Throw. It essentially spares Nom's life by doing way less damage, but it raises the Sudowoodo's speed stat by 1 stage. So on the next turn, the Sudowoodo is faster and can take out Nom with a Rock Throw. But using Icy Wind can lower the Sudowoodo's speed stat by 1 stage, meaning we can cancel out all of the stat changes and have Snom be faster on the next turn. That was obviously pretty confusing, so let's see how it went in the battle. Turn 1, Nom goes first and uses Icy Wind to lower the Sudowoodo's speed by 1. Then the Sudowoodo uses Trailblaze, sparing Nom's life and raising its speed by 1 stage. So on the next turn, it takes Nom's regular speed into consideration, which is faster than the Sudowoodo. And since we already hit it with Icy Wind, it doesn't activate its sturdy ability, so Bug Buzz finishes off the game. And with this strategy, I am smarter than that 5th grader. Oh yeah, I can also level up Snom to 30. Next I try to take on the Steel Titan Orthworm, but that didn't go very well. So looking at the rest of the badges that we'll need to get, the Path of Legends and Victory Road are both kind of out of the question. The best option right now is to go to Starfall Street to Giacomo's base, as Bug is strong against Dark types. So I go to take on Team Star, where we run into a pretty particular problem. No, it's not that I almost lost to the Murkrow. Shut up. For the Team Star raid thing that you have to do before fighting the boss, well, you can't do it unless you have 3 Pokemon in your party. So I will put 2 other Pokemon in my party for the purpose of actually being able to progress through the game, but I would do all battling with Snom, including the quick battles. The interesting thing about these quick battle raids is that the winner of each of these little mini battles is solely determined by the level of the Pokemon and the type advantage in play. And considering we're going to have to fight a fire type and a fighting type boss, these normally incredibly easy raids could become a big problem in the future. Okay, now it's time to fight Giacomo, who has 2 Pokemon. He leads with Pawniard, so I opt to terrestrialize immediately and go for Bug Buzz. Unfortunately, the Pawniard does a lot of damage to Snom with the Metal Claw before it's a one-hit KO to the Bug Buzz. For his second Pokemon, he pulls out his questionably legal Ace in the Hole. Yeah, we have to fight the giant car he's standing on. Each Starmobile matches its type with the type of its leader. So in this case, it's pure Dark type and therefore weak to Bug. It leads off by using Metal Sound to half Nom's defense, and Nom's Bug Buzz seems to do exactly half of its health. On the next turn, the Starmobile is faster, so it goes first, hits Nom, and Nom lives on 9 health, and Nom's next Bug Buzz takes the win. With that, we've just defeated Giacomo in complete anime style. After listening to Giacomo's sob story about how he sucked at being a student body president 2 years ago, he gives us the Dark Star badge, which lets us level up Snom up to level 35. So now I'm feeling a lot more confident to take on the next gym badge, the Electric type gym, where our rival Nemona practically forces us into battle. I am aware that you don't actually need to win the fights against Nemona during the gym challenge, but I'm petty, so I'm gonna try to win them all. She leads off with Rockruff, which is obviously a huge problem. So I terrestrialize Snom and go for Icy Wind. But the Rockruff is faster and hits Snom for almost all of his health. And then the Icy Wind only did like half his health. But because of that guaranteed speed drop, Snom was faster than the Rockruff on the next turn and could finish it off with yet another Icy Wind. Her next Pokemon, Palmy, got a critical hit with Bite and brought Snom down to only 9 HP, before getting decimated by a Bug Buzz. She still had her ace, Florigato, and with Snom at only 9 health, I was basically convinced I was screwed. But she just used Hone Claws, even though using literally any attacking move would have won her the game. So one quad effective Bug Buzz later and we kind of won the first fight against Nemona. I don't know, I think she just felt bad for me. This gym challenge was actually kind of difficult because we had to fight 2 trainers in a row. The main problem was the second trainer's Flaffy, who after using Charge had enough power to absolutely decimate Snom. And after a Bug Buzz wasn't nearly enough to take it out, I was once again convinced I was screwed, but then the Flaffy just used Charge again for some reason. Well, thanks for giving me the win. Aside from being one of the most exhausting personalities this franchise had to offer, Iono actually has a really threatening team for Snom, with 4 Pokemon that are all faster and are all capable of putting out a lot of damage. All of her Pokemon just take neutral damage to Bug, so my strategy here is to output as much damage as possible with Bug Buzz. To do that, I made sure to buy Silver Powder from the shop in Mesgoza, which raises the power of any bug moves the holder uses. For reference, this will make the 90 power Bug Buzz a 108 power move. After having to heal once, both her Wattrel and Belly Bolt were 1 or 2 shot kills, but Snom was cutting it pretty close at 3 HP, so obviously I had to heal when the Luxray came out. Luckily its attack did just under Snom's full health, so after getting hit twice, the Luxray was a 1-shot kill to Bug Buzz. Snom was only at 12 HP going into Mismagius, but I didn't heal because I knew the Mismagius would always use Confuse Ray on the first turn. If Snom breaks through the confusion and uses Bug Buzz, it's a 1-hit KO and we've won the game. Even with using 2 healing items, this gym battle was really close, so I was looking to take on some other parts of the game's story. With Snom at level 40, I went to take on the Path of Legends and the Titan fights. First up was the Rock Titan Cloth. This absolute peak of Pokemon game design is only level 16, so I probably could have done this fight way earlier. In the second phases for each of the Titan fights, Arven joins you in a multi-battle where you 2 gang up on the Titan. He uses 1 Pokemon, which usually has a countering move to each of the Titans respectively. In this battle, he uses a level 16 Shelter with the super effective Water Gun. This seems like a super trivial battle to bring up based on the outcome of that first phase, but Snom still found a way to die in 1 hit to the level 16 Calarf's Rock Tomb. To be fair, it was a critical hit, so that probably mattered, but yeah, Snom is dead. But to my surprise, the battle kept going. By that I mean Arven Shelter continued to fight the Titan without me. Turns out the game actually treats these battles the same way as it would a traditional multi-battle, where even if all of the players' Pokemon have fainted, we don't lose the battle until Arven's 1 Pokemon goes down too. In this case, Arven clutched the game by finishing off Cloth with a Water Gun. So good job, Arven. That's another 5 levels. Okay, going on to the water type gym, the gym receptionist entrusts me with Kofu's entire life savings because I vaguely looked like a gym challenger. So for the actual gym challenge, I go to participate in some underage gambling to get some legendary seaweed from the Hoenn region. Anyway, gym challenge was easy. So I head back to Cascarifa to fight Kofu. That is how you pronounce it, right? Cascarifa. Cascarifa. Wait, I did this last video too, didn't I? I'm sorry, I guess I just can't pronounce town names. Kofu's team doesn't look too threatening on the surface because none of his Pokemon have a direct counter for Snom. Except his Veluza, who for some reason knows the move Pluck and knocks like half of Snom's health down. Great. It's also got a really high speed stat, so we're not avoiding this. His Wugtrio is also way faster, so it gets Snom down to 14 HP before it's a 1-hit KO. Going into Kofu's last Pokemon, Grabominable, I was hoping Snom would be faster with the level advantage because Grabominable 2 has an abysmal speed stat. For the first turn, I use a Hyper Potion to fully heal to see how Snom would fare against an attack. The Grabominable uses Crab Hammer and it leaves Snom on 2 HP. So from here, it's all or nothing. I go for a Hail Mary Bug Buzz, the Crabominable goes for Crab Hammer, and it misses! I didn't even know that was possible! So once again, the RNG gods have come through and blessed me with another win I didn't earn. Oh, never mind. The Bug Buzz didn't kill. Well, I'm screwed. Even with all the luck on my side, I couldn't do it. I need to level up. And the best way to do that is, unsurprisingly, the Path of Legends again. The Steel and Flying type Titan were probably the two easy Titans that I had left, mainly because of their generally low levels and Snom kinda countering both of them. With 2 more badges down, Snom could get up to level 55, but this battle was still not easy. This time, instead of using brute force, I tried to be a little more strategic going into the Wug Trio. Basically, instead of using Bug Buzz, I'll have Snom spam Icy Wind over and over to keep lowering the Wug Trio's speed. By the time its speed is lowered by 2 stages, Snom will be faster, meaning that I'll heal one more time, take a little bit of chip damage, and then have priority to immediately take it out the next turn. With this strategy, Snom has basically all of his health left still, so I don't have to use the first turn with the Crabominable, just healing. So I immediately attack, and because of Snom's level ups, he's now a little bit faster in the Crabominable and gets the first move. Of course, the Bug Buzz still doesn't kill, but with this extra HP, Snom can survive the Crab Hammer at 21 health. So on the next turn, Snom is still faster and wins the game with the Bug Buzz. With that, Snom can get to level 60, and we're now halfway through the gym challenge. Okay, the next option for me is just going straight to take on the next gym because I'm kind of out of options. To beat Kofu, we just did basically all of the Titan fights that I'm able to do at this level, and all of the remaining Starfall Street missions have pretty unfortunate type matchups. So I guess we're gonna go challenge Larry's gym, and if it doesn't work out, we're gonna have to get pretty creative. Especially since Larry's ace happens to be a really strong flying type. Larry leads off with Komala, who will always use Yawn on the first turn, which makes the opposing Pokemon fall asleep at the end of the next turn. Snom goes for Bug Buzz, and it barely doesn't kill, so that's great. So it can get a free slam off for like half of Snom's health before it's finished off. I just restart and try again. This time I use Icy Wind to lower its speed, then be able to go first to take it out with Bug Buzz. So then Snom hasn't taken any damage going into the Dunsparce. Unfortunately now Snom's asleep, so I have to spend that first turn using a healing item to wake him up. So the Dunsparce gets to attack with Hyper Drill, which does just above half of Snom's health. So I go for Bug Buzz, but the Dunsparce is somehow faster and it just kills Snom. Great. So right now, I need just a little bit more special attack and just a little bit more defense. Luckily, there's a natural spawn for a Modest Mint in the wild. Right now, Snom's nature is just not as good as it could be. It lowers defense and raises special defense. With a modest nature, attack would be lowered, which Snom doesn't use anyway, and special attack would be heightened, potentially making a pretty big difference in Snom's stats. After putting on the mint, Snom's stats are now a lot more beneficial to it, giving him an extra 7 special attack and an extra 7 defense. With the higher special attack, 1 Bug Buzz is now enough to take out the Komala in 1 hit, which is huge. When the Dunsparce comes out, Snom will fall asleep at the end of this turn. So I just go for a Bug Buzz to OHKO it, but then something interesting happens. The Dunsparce uses Glare to paralyze Snom, and the move Yawn will make the target fall asleep on the next turn, but it doesn't work if the Pokemon is already afflicted with another status condition. So by paralyzing Snom here, Larry just foiled his own plan. So it's Snom's turn, he breaks through the paralysis and gets a Bug Buzz off, in which it's a 1-hit KO. You gotta be kidding me. Well, I guess the Dunsparce gets a free hit off before it's gone. So the big bad Staraptor comes out, clearly 50 geologic periods faster than Snom. So we have to watch the whole cutscene on like the audience cheering Larry on, and it's clear we're screwed. I don't even know if Snom could have tanked an aerial ace at full HP. So what do I do? Because like I said, we're done with basically every other mission within our level range. I actually did give the Fire Team Starbase a shot, but we'll just say that that didn't go very well. So once again, I'm coming back running to the Path of Legends to see if I could maybe beat the Ground Steel Titan. So I head up to the Asado Desert to challenge that thing, whatever that thing, the Pika Pokemon design, to a fight. Iron Treads is part steel, so it naturally resists Bug, which is kind of a problem. It goes first, and wow, that does a lot of damage. And Snom's Bug Buzz is just not getting us anywhere. So I reset and tried again, hoping that I maybe will get better luck, and I totally did. Iron Treads chose an attack that did way less damage, and Snom's Bug Buzz got the 10% chance of lowering the opponent's special defense, which is literally the only reason I won. Iron Treads goes for a rapid spin, once again sparing Nom's life. And because of that special defense drop, this next Bug Buzz is just enough to take out the Iron Treads. Holy crap. Because of how close that was, you'd probably think that the second phase would be basically impossible, but it was actually a bit easier, because this time, Arven's gonna lead me to victory with his Skull villain that has a super effective Fire Fang. My strategy is to just repeatedly spam Icy Wind to keep lowering the Iron Tread's speed, dealing a lot of chip damage, and giving Arven the priority to use Fire Fang first. This strategy worked perfectly. At the end of every turn, we'd have taken out about a third of his health every time, and by the time Nom was one hit away from dying, Iron Treads had already been slowed down so much to where Arven got to outspeed it and finish the fight with the Fire Fang. So despite being incredibly underleveled, we just beat the second to last Titan with only Snom. That gets Nom to a max level of 65, which is hopefully enough to take out Larry. But because I've already gotten 9 of the 18 story badges, I'm gonna leave it here for part 1. I promise that I'll have the next part of this out relatively fast depending on how well this video does. I was trying to time the release of this video with something big happening in Pokemon Scarlet Violet, like the Pokemon Home release, something about the DLC, I don't know, anything. It just looks like the Pokemon company's taking a little snooze right now, which is fine by me, it's just I'm not waiting any longer to release this video. So if you made it this far, please show your support by tapping some of the YouTube buttons, because obviously these videos aren't worth making if I don't even know anyone's watching them. Well, until next time, I'll see y'all later. Oh, and check out this shiny Lechonk. Wait, that... I knew I wasn't tripping, that's a shiny Lechonk. That's a shiny, no way! I wasn't even hunting anything. This guy just appeared of the 1 in 4,096 chance in the middle of this challenge run. Let's go. I am going to name you Ham.